everybody. Welcome back. I am so sorry that I'm not here to greet you at the door physically today. I guess I wasn't thinking when those doctors called and scheduled today, of all days, to have doctor's appointments. So, but don't worry, you're stuck with me for the rest of the week. And that's right, everybody. You are stuck with me for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That's right, because we're in school. Yay! All 5 days. Woohoo! I'm so excited. So anyway, obviously for today, you can sit where you want. Do not move your desks. Don't worry about the trays underneath your desks. You're not going to need them today. You're just going to sit where you came in and sat down at. Tomorrow we will go ahead and I'll get you guys a seating chart of where you'll be sitting for the next while. Okay, so don't worry about that today. All right, but I do want to go through a couple things with you since I'm not here, which stinks. I apologize again, but there's a couple things that I want to go over with you guys. So here we go. So as you guys know, my rules have not changed. All right. I have three very simple rules. Be here. All right. Be here means not just physically, but mentally as well. I need your brains engaged. You're not going to take anything out of my classroom if you are daydreaming. And remember, okay, well, or not remember, some of you guys don't know, but if you walk through my door, it said, this is a no zone zone. You'll hear me say that a lot because I don't want you zoning out in here. So this is a no zone zone. All right, next, be cool. That means you need to be respectful of everything and all of our surroundings and all of that stuff. So be cool means you're respecting material things, your classmates, your teacher, just every part about this is being cool. Number 3 is very important. Take care of business. All right, that means that you're getting your homework done, that you are using your class time wisely, that you're bringing your stuff to class. So take care of business is very important. Probably the most important part of taking care of business is making sure that you guys are looking on Skyward and checking your grades. All right, so those are my basic rules that I actually talked about at the beginning of the school year. But these are Mrs. Parkin's rules during a pandemic. That's right. Welcome back to Mrs. Parkin's class. So as you walk through the door, you notice that I have a chair with some hand sanitizer on it. So in order to enter, you're going to take a little squirt of the hand sanitizer so your hands are nice and clean. Next, you need to make sure that your masks are worn correctly. That means, no, they're not up on your head. They're not under your chin. They're covering your nose and your mouth. That's right, wear your mask correctly. Next, you must sit in your assigned seats every day. All right. And there's many reasons for that. But you're going to sit in your assigned seats that I will assign you tomorrow. Next, you will need to stay in your seat the whole time. Now that we have more people back in class, we don't have a lot of room to get up and move around as much as we want to. And I'm going to tell you, this is going to be hard because of the fact that, we have been so used to being at home where we can get up and, do a little dance whenever we want. But unfortunately, now that we're back in our classroom and we have to stay 3 feet apart, you'll have to remain in your seats. Next, remember, one person to the bathroom at a time. We'll take care of that. But the most important Mrs. Parkin rule during a pandemic is try your hardest. All right. You have to try your hardest. We're facing crazy things right now. So I need you to work super duper hard. We got this. You do all these things and we got this. All right. Next. Every day, this is what you need to bring to class with you. You'll need your math book. Imagine that, right? Math class, math book. Remember that. You'll need a pencil or several pencils. You'll need paper. You'll need a notebook. You'll need your homework. And if you are in my 4th period class and my 6th period class, you're going to need what's called an entry task packet, which I'll talk about later. and your mini handy dandy notebook, which I'll talk about later. Algebra students, you guys just need an algebra notebook that you're only going to use for taking notes for algebra class. Next, I want you guys to bring your laptops with you, either if it's your whatever one that you've been using up to this point, you need to bring it with you every day, because there's often going to be times where we're going to use an online activity during class. So make sure that you bring them, because I don't have enough for a whole class. All right. Next, I might be adding things later on, but right now this is our main list. All right, so today, obviously I'm not here, so we have a guest teacher today. All right, so when I'm gone, you will need to be polite. You will be respectful. You will not talk to your classmates, and you will do what is assigned. Yes, oh yes, you will. Oh wait. You need to do that every day. But here's the scoop. If your name gets written down as being disruptive, there will be consequences. There will be consequences. So just be good. That's all you got to do is be good. All right, well, let's go ahead. This video, I only wanted to make one. And so this video is going to be, you might have to fast forward. So like if it's not fourth period, you are going to have to fast forward to the class that you're in. All right, so I just really quick want to go over what fourth period is going to be talking about today. Fourth period, you guys are going to be doing a worksheet, okay? And your worksheet, let me show it. Well, let me just refresh your brains. The first part of your worksheet talks about multiplying, can't spell today, multiplying fractions. That's right. So an example might be 1/6 times 1/4. Okay? So the first thing when multiplying fractions is we always look crossways. We look to see if there's anything that I can simplify down. Well, unfortunately, there's not. So that means that we're going to multiply my numerators. So 1 times 1 is 1, and then multiply my denominators, which 6 times 4 is 24. Okay, all right, next, you might have to multiply mixed numbers, or sorry, whole numbers. So let's say I have 9 times 1/3. So you make this a fraction, and this is already a fraction. Now we're going to do crossways. Is there a number that goes into 1 and 1? No. Is there a number that goes into 3 and 9? Yes. 3 goes into 3 once, 3 goes into 9 3 times. So I simplified that. Now I multiply straight through. 3 times 1 is 3. 1 times 1 is 1. My answer is 3. All right, so that's what multiplying fractions look like. All right, next thing you're going to be doing is you're going to be adding fractions. Now, I know this should be review for you guys because this is all stuff that we talked about first semester. But if you're struggling on Google Classroom, I will post extra tutorial videos for you guys to go back and look at to get extra help on, okay? All right, so that's the scoop. So adding fractions, we're going to be adding mixed numbers today. So 3 and 1/4, okay, plus 2 and 1/2. Now, remember, when adding fractions, in order to add them, you have to have, your fractions have to have what's called a common denominator. And that's the LCM. That's the least common multiple of 4 and 2. So what's a number that 4 and 2 go both into? So 2 goes into 2. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 3 is 6, and so on and so on. 4 times 1 is 4. Guess what? I found my least common multiple. So I make that a 4 and I make that a 4. Nothing changes here, so that stays as 1/4. Over here, 2 times 2 is 4. So 1 times 2 is 2. Now that I have a common denominator, my denominator stays the same, and I add my numerators. 1 plus 2 is 3. Then now I'm going to add my whole numbers. 3 plus 2 is 5. And that is your answer. Yep. So that is adding mixed numbers. And again, today is all about review. So we're reviewing this stuff. Okay. The final thing that you guys are going to do is you guys are going to create equivalent fractions. So example, if I have 1/4 equals A over 12. Well, you ask yourself, what do you do to 4 to get 12? Well, you multiply it by 3. So you're going to do the same thing up here and multiply it by 3. And so 1 times 3 becomes a 3. So A equals 3. All right, if I have a -5 fourths equals G over, let's go 24. You look, 4 times what is 24? 4 times 6. So -5, now this is where it might get a little bit tricky, all right? 5 times 6 is 30, but since it's a negative, your answer, or that number over there is also going to be negative, all right? So let me share with you guys what you guys are going to be doing today. Okay. So here's what you guys are doing for today. The first part of your assignment says this: words to scare a thief. Okay, the multiplication table below contains 35 mistakes. So there's 35 problems that aren't right. Shade in each box which contain a mistake. Be sure to use a pencil so you can erase if necessary. So, ready? Here's the first one. Now, remember how multiplication tables work? You start in this column and then in this column, and the answer to that should be in this column. So the first one I have, it says that 1/3 times 1/2 is 1/8. Well, I'm going to probably need to get a separate piece of paper, and I'm going to do a little math. So 1/3 times 1/2. Multiplying these through, I can't cross simplify, so I multiply. 1 times 1 is 1, 3 times 2 is 6. So that is not correct. So all you're going to do is you're going to take your pencil and you're going to shade this because that is not true. So then you move on. 1/4 times 1/2. Is that 1/2? I don't know. Do the math and find out. So once you do that, you'll have a whole bunch of stuff highlighted and you'll be able to see words pop out. Okay, next. Why did the lumberjack quit his job? So to find the answers, so you're going to solve all these, and your answers are going to be over here. So let's take a look at this first one. Okay, first step, I don't have a common denominator. So my least common multiple is 8. So 2 times 4 is 8. So this is 4/8 there. 8 times 1 is 8. So this is just 5/8. Now I add my numerators. 4 plus 5 is 9. And my denominator stays as 8. 6 plus 2 is 8. Now, it's big on the top. It must be improper. So 8 goes into 9 one whole time with 1 left over. So now I combine my whole numbers and I get 9 and 1/8 as my answer. So over here, so 9 and 1/8 is not n. 9 and 1/8 is 8. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to go down to section 8 and I'm going to put the letter that goes inside of there. So an N goes where 8 is at. Okay, so that's how you complete this one. And then last but certainly not least, this is the equivalent ratios. Okay, so we're going to solve this. 2 times 4 is 8. So -1 times 4 is -4. So G is -4. So I'm going to go all the way around here until I put, oh, there's a -4. So I put a G above it. Okay, any other -4s? Nope, not there. Down here, nope, not there. So that's the only one. G is -4. So you're going to complete that to find out what it says on the button. All right, so that's what you guys are doing during the period today. All right, so there you go. There's the first step. Okay. All right, so now let's move on to fifth period, algebra. Hello, algebra students. My wonderful high school students, how are you doing? Okay. All right, algebra students, here we go. This is what you guys get to do today. That's right, you guys are working on some refreshers of your brains on solving equations. So remember, solving equations, and again, like I said, I will post tutorials on Google Classroom. So if this isn't enough of a refresher for you, you just need to go to Google Classroom and watch what I put on there. All right, because like I said, this is stuff that you guys learned way at the beginning of the year. And so I was a little concerned that you might have forgotten, but we'll give it a try. All right, so remember, solving equations. Okay, to solve equations, your job to solve this equation is to get the variable by itself. All right, all alone, all by itself. So remember, I always like to put a line through the equal sign that way that you guys know that this is one side and this is the other. Now, look, you're solving for x. So whatever's on the same side as x has to go. So to cancel out, we got to cancel this out. So to cancel this out, we undo it by subtracting 2 from both sides. All right, so 2 minus 2 is 0. Nothing's left there. Leaving us with x, and then 10 minus 2 is 8. And we can double check this by plugging it in. That's right, 8 plus 2 is 10. So we must have done it right. Okay, so that's when we're adding. Sometimes you're going to have a problem that looks like this. Okay, so to solve this one, we're going to, since it's subtracting 8, we're going to add 8. Now, guess what, people? That's right. We're going to bring back the rules of adding integers. When you add a negative and a positive, remember, the process is not adding, it's actually subtracting. So you're going to subtract those two. Then you're going to give it the sign of the bigger number. 10 is a negative, so this too is a negative. So x equals -2. So if we plug that back in to see if it works, we're going to keep change. And what do you know? -2 plus -8 is -10. That's right. Moving forward, don't forget when you have problems that look like this. Okay, this is a multiplication. So the inverse of multiplication is division. Now remember, your job is to get x by itself. So we are going to divide by a -2. And the reason why we're dividing by a negative is because the rules of division. A negative divided by a negative is a positive. So these cancel out to 1. 1 times x is x. Now remember, whatever you do on this side, you do over here. 10 divided by 2 is 5. Positive divided by a negative is a negative. So x equals -5. All right. Okay, moving forward, last but not least, hey, when you have a problem that looks like this, right? So this is division. The inverse of division is multiplication. So you're going to put multiplication on both sides, and you're going to multiply both sides by 4. Because it's 4, those cross cancel out, leaving me with my variable x. 10 times 4 is 40. A negative times a positive is a negative. So that is solving one step equations. That's right, one step equations. All right. Now we're going to move into solving two step equations, such as 2x minus 4 equals -12. Okay, so first step, okay, this is when you undo, or when you solve two-step equations, you first, remember, undo the addition or subtraction, and then you undo the multiplication or division. So that's the process. So the first thing we're going to do is we're subtracting 4. So the inverse is we're going to add 4. Because a -4 plus 4 is 0. It cancels out, and that's what we want to have happen, leaving us with 2x on this side. Now, -12 plus +4 is a -8, because 12 minus 4 is 8. 12's bigger, so it's a negative. This is multiplication, so the inverse is division. Those cancel out, x equals -4. Okay, so that's what those look like. All right. I think you only have multiplication. So let me show you guys what you guys are doing today. So let me share my screen with you. Maybe if I can find it. There we go. All right, so this is what you guys are doing for a review today. And like I said, if you need more time to understand how to solve an equation, open up your laptop, go to Google Classroom and look it up. So test of knowledge. These are a whole bunch of answers here. So you have to go down here. You're probably going to need a piece of paper to do your work on, because I need to see work on your paper. Got it? All right, so the first one looks like this. It's 3y minus 7 equals 8, right? There it is, 3y minus 7 equals 8. So to solve this, first step, it's subtracting 7, so I'm adding 7, so it cancels those out. So I'm going to add 7 to that side. Those cancel out, leaving me with 3y equals 15. This is multiplication. The inverse is division. So we're going to divide. Y comes out to equal 5. All right? So on my paper, y equals +5. So that is S. So I'm going to go up here to my answers, and any +5s that I see, I'm going to put, oh, there it is, an S. Oh, SS there, and no other +5s. So again, you're going to solve these problems on a separate piece of paper, showing your work, and then you are going to come back, write what the answer was, and fill it in up here. On the back side, you are solving one-step equations. So this is adding 12, so I would subtract 12 from both sides, right? Those cancel out. 4 minus 12 looks like this, which is really 4 plus -12. I'm adding two different sign numbers, so I subtract and I give it the sign of the larger number. So n equals -8. So I'm going to go up here, find -8, and put an n above that. Okay, find -8 down here, look at right at the end, put an n. All right, oh, sorry, you can't see that. Okay, so that's how you do that assignment. So you solve whatever your answer is, go up, find the number and put the letter that corresponds with it. All right, and last but certainly not least, sixth period. You guys are actually going to review the same thing as, you know what, I'm going to keep it really simple. Sorry, just a second. Let me get to the right screen here. New share, there it is. All right, so sixth period, you guys are actually going to do the same packet that fourth period did. Okay, it is a good review for you guys to do on fractions and all of that stuff. Okay, so that's the skinny mini on what's happening today. These are all due tomorrow. They're all due tomorrow. Okay, please be on your very best behavior and we'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.